Morning. Thank you so much, Tara, for that nice introduction, and thank you, Dr. Garcia, for having me on your campus today. It is so wonderful to be at Texas State Technical College and to meet all of you and to see the amazing things that are happening here. Of course, I think if you know anything about me at all and my 6 years in the Texas Senate, you know that education is my #1 priority. I believe in that because I believe that the promise of Texas means that where you start should have nothing at all to do with where you can go. And as you know, my path to public office was not necessarily a traditional one, and it is inextricably linked to my education experience. As a young person coming right out of high school and someone who came from a family who didn't have any kind of a college background, a mother who didn't even have the opportunity to graduate from high school, I didn't have a whole lot of guidance about what to do in making my way into the education arena. And though I took a few classes at first, I wound up being like so many young women, someone who married and had a baby very young. And unfortunately, it looked like the pathway to college was going to forever be closed to me. And I truly believe that my dream was never going to come true. And it came true because of a college very much like this one. In my community, it was Tarrant County Junior College. It's now known as Tarrant County Community College. And I started there in a vocational program. And the wonderful thing about doing that is after being there for a year, I began to believe that not only could I be a legal assistant in their 2-year program, but I could make my dream come true and be a lawyer. And that started my journey. And my journey ended with going to Harvard Law School, which was an incredible dream come true for me. And now, of course, standing in front of you with the privilege and the honor of talking to you about my candidacy to become your governor. And I want you to understand that my vision for what I want to see in education is so intimately connected to the experience that I had in Texas. Texas made a promise to me that if I would work hard, Texas would be my partner and my dreams could come true. And I know that this school is making that promise to you and that your dreams are going to come true because you're willing to work hard and you're here to do your part in making sure that you're a success. Of course, I stood in 2011 to filibuster over $5 billion of cuts from our public education arena. But that's not the only arena where the state isn't the partner that it once was. In the higher education arena, we see the same challenges with tuition deregulation that occurred in 2003, the cost of college increasing dramatically because universities have to make it up somewhere, and with our families having to bear these higher costs for their students to be able to go to school. In many instances, because the tuitions are so high and the financial aid has decreased so dramatically, fewer and fewer students who are capable of and who want to go to college have the opportunity to make that dream come true. And I want to make sure that in Texas we dramatically improve the number of students who are able to do that. Now in Texas today, despite our job growth and our job creation, only 20% of Texas students receive a post-secondary degree or certification. And of course, to continue that economic success, we have to do better than that. I think as a state, we can strive at least for 50% of our students to be able to access that higher education. And I'm going to set that as an immediate goal for us as a state legislature to meet. Last week, I announced my Great Schools, Great Teachers program, and it's the first of several education policy proposals that I'm going to be sharing with Texas families around the state. It included my vision for recruiting, developing, and retaining quality teachers in Texas. And I also announced that I will work with the legislature to increase Texas teacher salaries and to bring them at least in line with the national average. With an economy as strong as ours, I think we can at least do as well as the national average. And we have to set our vision and our sights there, or we'll never do the work it's going to take to get there. Just like each of you have set your visions and your sights on what you want to be in the world, it wouldn't happen if you weren't willing to participate in doing the hard work to making that happen. And if someone had said to you, well, that's just too hard, we shouldn't even try, I have a feeling I know what your answer would be. And I know that your answer would be, it's worth trying. And obviously each of you is here because you believe it's worth trying. But that's just one component of my platform. And I also, of course, believe that what's happening in this college campus is an incredibly important part of what needs to form our focus on education. And that is a pathway to a brighter future. So we're calling this Greater Pathways, Greater Texas, Greater Education as part of our proposal. The Greater Pathways come, of course, through programs like Dr. Garcia talked about, programs that provide an opportunity for dual credit enrollment, and of course also programs like the one you have across the street, which is an early college high school program. You all are doing an amazing job here, and I heard from so many students today that they would not have found their path into the college arena if it hadn't been for those dual credit classes helping to open that door for them and to make them understand that college could be a reality for them. Of course, one of the best ways to make sure that we have students able to achieve and to find their way into a college classroom is to lower their out-of-pocket expenses in order to allow them to obtain as much college credit as we can while they're in high school. According to a U.S. Department of Education report, students who end their first calendar year of college enrollment with fewer than 20 credits in that first college year are far less likely to successfully complete college than their peers. Several existing Texas programs should be strengthened and expanded to make obtaining college credit while in high school a reality for more students. Here at TSTC, dual credit partnerships between this institution and high schools across the Rio Grande Valley make college more than a dream for Texas students. These partnerships make further education a reality. And so today, I am announcing my plan to increase access to further education for Texans by strengthening and expanding Texas dual credit and early college high school programs. This, as I said, is the second plank in a series of education platforms that we'll be talking about in the weeks to come. Today's announcement comes with 4 common sense reforms. The first is setting a goal and working with the legislature to double the amount of early Texas college high schools across the state. Second, as governor, I will set a goal and work with the legislature to double the number of hours of college credit that Texas high school students earn each year, and to make it available to more students who want to avail themselves of those credits. Third, as governor, I will set a goal and work with the legislature to create a grant program under TEA to offset costs to qualifying students on a financial needs basis, because whether you can afford tuition should not be a determining factor in where you end up in your life. Fourth, I will encourage school districts through supports and incentives to develop collaborative partnerships with local institutions of higher learning to create college-proven students. This is my plan, and these proposals will take time. They won't happen overnight, but I know this: they won't happen if someone doesn't set them as a vision for us to try to accomplish. And if we start by saying it'll cost too much, it'll be too hard, we'll never get there. We have to dream into reality the vision that we want to see for our Texas students and for the opportunity for each of them, each of you who are here today, to be a part of the Texas success story, so that one day you too can stand in front of a group of people, and whether it's because you're teaching in a college classroom, or because you're speaking to people as an elected official, or whether you're providing health care to someone in your community, you will have that opportunity to once again, as I am saying today, I was part of the promise of Texas. Texas made a promise to me that if I would work hard, where I started would have nothing to do with how far I can go. And together, we're going to make sure that more and more and more of you have the opportunity to say that. Thank you so very much for having me today.